My friends, today I'm going to try to explain to you just how insanely massive quant overledger QNT token is without taking 4 hours, okay? So I've literally spent 5 to 7,000 hours researching quant. I've spent over maybe 15,000 hours researching XRP, utility, the central banking systems, the fourth industrial age, this whole blockchain age that we're going into. And there is literally nothing bigger than quant. It is it's just so insanely massive what's going on. So I'm going to try to explain to you this back to back with facts without taking 4 hours. So first of all, I'm going to start by telling you who Gilbert Verdian is, the founder of quant. Like, he's one of the top cybersecurity experts in the world. He used to be responsible for the cybersecurity for the UK Treasury and for the Bank of England, and he's just unbelievably knowledgeable and like top goat in the world, literally one of them for the cybersecurity of nations and central banks and so on. So he created the secure asset transfer protocol. Actually, let me rewind. So first of all, what is quant? Quant is an operating system for the fourth industrial age. It is the operating system. Okay, I know I'm going to say stuff that's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to show the proof. So quant is the operating system for the fourth industrial age. So it's like Microsoft Windows, but on steroids. I should say on steroids and on growth hormones, okay? Anybody that's been in bodybuilding, you say steroids, but there's something even stronger than steroids. It's growth hormones. Some guys even take growth hormones. It's insane, right? But quant is the operating system, Microsoft Windows on steroids, and we could say growth hormones too. It's insane. So Microsoft Windows was the operating system for the third industrial age, for the information age, and it was the main operating system. Probably 80-90% of the computers ran on Microsoft Windows, and it gave us interoperability in our computers, and that's why your computer turned on. Is you push the button and your computer turns on. It's because of the operating system. Okay, so quant is the operating system for the fourth industrial age. So right now we are going into the tokenization age and AI as well. Quant is the operating system for this new age that we're going into, and what it does is provides interoperability between the legacy systems that exist, the existing systems and softwares that banks use and different tech companies use and everything that exists right now. It provides interoperability between those systems and blockchain because you need to have interoperability. The legacy systems that our current system runs on is not compatible with blockchain. Okay, so he knew that, being one of the top cybersecurity experts in the world, he knew that we needed to create an operating system, that these cross chains were not working because they were getting hacked, and he understood why they were getting hacked and why they were not officially secure. So he created quant so that all the legacy systems can connect to blockchain, because these commercial banks and central banks and our current financial infrastructure, they're not just going to turn off for 9 months or 3 months or 2 months. These systems cannot be turned off because they're national critical infrastructure. You can't turn them off to integrate them into blockchain. And also the other problem is, if you connect them to blockchain, okay, without quant you can only connect in one blockchain. And so if there's an issue with that blockchain, it would take them months to, it's a long story, but you need a true solution to plug into blockchain easily with a few lines of code and disconnect if there's something wrong. But even without quant, even if they could connect to blockchain, they can only connect to one blockchain at a time, which is no good. In order to have the full adoption of blockchain, you need to be able to connect into multiple blockchains at the same time and use whichever blockchain you want. Without interoperability, it's worthless. For example, trying to use one blockchain, just for the world to adopt blockchain and being stuck to one blockchain at a time, like without using quant, it would be like having the internet and only having access to one web page. Okay, if you buy an internet package, you want to have access to all the websites. If you can only have access to one website, it's pointless. The internet wouldn't work that way. You have to have all the websites. So same thing is, for blockchain to be used globally, you need to have access to all the blockchains at the same time. You need to be able to pick the best features of each blockchain and integrate that into an app. So anyway, so that's another story. So first thing I want to explain to you is that Gilbert Verdian approached the IETF, that's the Internet Engineering Task Force, okay, the IETF, and MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and he approached them and said, listen, we have to create a new protocol, a new standard for blockchains so that they can communicate and we can have seamless interoperability, and we need to standardize this. So literally what he was saying is we need to re-architecture the internet, okay, because the internet right now is not made for blockchain. It's not made for moving tokens around from one network to another. It's not secure, so on and so forth. And they said, yes, we agree. Now what you have to understand is, who is the IETF? The IET, so right now they're building what is called the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, the IETF and Quant, including MIT. But who are they? The IETF and MIT are literally responsible for the creation, the maintenance, and the standardization of every internet protocol we have today. without MIT and the IETF, especially the IETF, we wouldn't even have the internet today. They're the ones who carried along the internet and standardized everything, like I said, for the past 30 years. So literally the TCP/IP, the SMTP protocol for moving emails, the standardization of the HTTPS for web pages and so on. Because the internet is a bunch of different protocols and standards and so on, and it's the IETF that's responsible for all of that, the IETF and MIT. So they said to Gilbert, yes, we agree, because the guy is just insanely knowledgeable, and I can't even begin to explain, okay, this guy, Gilbert Verdian, what a goat. So anyway, so they're creating the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, which is on my screen right here, right now. And right here, so what it has, so right in the middle here would be the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, and you have gateways on each side. In order to host a gateway right now, you have to have QNT. So it's the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol is to move network so that tokens and assets, tokenized assets, can move from one network to the other. Okay, so it's a standardized protocol. It's an internet level protocol, and they're currently building that right now. They've been working on it for 2 years, and it'll be they're going through the final review right now. It's pretty much done, and it'll probably take like maybe between 3 to 8 months before if it launches and becomes a standard. The IETF, if you look at the people that are in that membership of the IETF for the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, it's insane. Like, it's IBM, Microsoft, all the top tech companies, the intelligence agencies, and so on and so forth, because they're standardizing a new protocol for the internet, right? So this is a very big deal, right? And Quant's team some of Quant's team are sitting as chair and co-chair and like chairing the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol. And Martin Hargreave, one of the Quant team members, literally wrote the SATP, the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol draft, the main draft. It seems that he's the one that actually wrote it. So all of top tech companies, including the intelligence agencies, are all putting their input on this, but Quant is actually the company that's literally on top of all of them, literally, and guiding this Secure Asset Transfer Protocol, the standardization and development of it. So it's insane, okay? So then, and again, like right now, currently, you need a gateway, and Quant is one of the only compliant gateways, the only compliant gateway for this protocol. So every tokenized asset's going to move through this, but it's to move one asset, tokenized asset, so a CBDC, tokenized bond, stock service, when you want to move it from one network to another. It's not the same thing as the interledger protocol for when you want to convert one asset to another. You need liquidity for that. That's not the same, okay? There's a lot of people that believe that this completely replaces the interledger protocol in XRP. Anybody in the quant community that believes it does, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but watch my other videos. So now, the other thing I want to tell you about Gilbert Verdian, second point. He created the ISO 307 standard, blockchain interoperability standard, in 2015. He created this ISO standard 10 years ago for blockchain interoperability, when 99.999% of people in the industry didn't even know that we needed interoperability, let alone standardizing it at an ISO level. So if you look here, as an initiator of the ISO TC307, Verdian drove the creation of the global standard for blockchain and DLT, now involving 53 countries and organizations like the European Commission, SWIFT, and IBM, and it could go on and on. So the standard covers interoperability, security, privacy, terminology. Okay, as the chair of the interoperability working group, he has focused on standardizing how different blockchain systems can communicate, directly aligning Quant's Overledger mission. So you look here. So the ISO is the International Organization for Standardization. So every single industry in the world has standards globally, and ISO is one of the main organizations for that. Because in any industry, you need standardization, you need standards. So let's say I'm in construction, and for me, a nail is this long, and for another person, a regular size nail for a house is this long. Like, you need standards. That's not a good example, but I'm just saying you need global standards. And so the ISO and the BSI, British Standards Institute, I believe, they're the two main organizations for global standards. So literally, Gilbert Verdian set the international blockchain standards for the whole world 10 years before people even knew we needed standards. That's next level. Guys, like, you need to understand, Quant is not operating at the same level as other cryptocurrency projects, my friend. And the market cap is only $1 billion right now. Just saying, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but the utility that's going to go through quant, the use case, the amount of use case, it's just mind-boggling. So anyways, let me continue here. So this is an example right here of the ISO TC307. So you've got the advisory group review, you've got the liaison advisory group, you've got communication standards. So these are all different groups within the ISO 307 standard. Okay, so this ISO 307 interoperability standard, but it's got a bunch of different groups within that standard. You've got communications, and you've got another standards for DLT and carbon markets. You've got foundation reviews, chairs advisory group. You've got a joint ISO T307 with all of the different groups here for the security of blockchain, privacy, identity, and so on. You've got the standardization, the standards for smart contracts and their applications. You've got standards for governance, different use cases, interoperability, and the working group number 8, because these are all working groups within that standard, right? Different working groups. So working group number 8 is for tokenization of assets. So imagine the level that this guy operates. Literally setting the standards at the very top for every different sector of blockchain. For governance, use case, interoperability, tokenization, privacy, security, and so on and so forth. Identity, and on. So that's one thing I want. I'm trying to go as fast as possible as I can, fast as I humanly can, because there's so much stuff to discuss with quant. So that's one thing. I'm just scraping the surface. I'm not even going in full detail there. Then you've got INATBA. Gilbert is the co-chair for the International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications. Right here. Let me say that again. The International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications. He's the co-chair. So we've got a chairman, you've got co-chair. So there are 2 or 3 people that chaired and created INATBA. Okay, so imagine, again, this was in 2019. And again, it's to set the standards globally. This guy is another level, okay? So at the time, there's 54 countries that joined. Now there's probably way more, but he's one of the co-chair for this group, and they literally help to guide all of the other standard setting bodies globally. So there's many different global setting standards, different global standard setting bodies, or standard setting bodies, within each country, or different geographic areas. INATBA sits on top of it, literally, and Gilbert Verdian is one of the co-chairs helping. So he's literally guiding the world central banks, commercial banks, like I said, standard setting bodies. He's literally guiding them on how this needs to be done if we want full adoption of blockchain. He's also one of the members of EBSI, a prominent member of the EBSI, the European Blockchain Service Infrastructure. Verdian is a member of the EU Blockchain Observatory and Forum's Blockchain Policy and Framework Conditions Working Group. So he's helping to guide and set up the framework for the European Blockchain Service Infrastructure. Again, involving like 20-some countries. God knows how many countries the European Union is. I'm not the greatest person in geography, but it's like, 16 or 20 or many countries, right? So the European Blockchain Service Infrastructure. He's one of the persons guiding the blockchain, the forum's blockchain policy and framework working group. EBSI launched in 2018, right here, under the European Blockchain Partnership, aims to deliver cross-border public services using blockchain. So the whole world's going on blockchain, right? Every single country is going on blockchain. This is what a lot of people don't realize, because you watch the mainstream media and say, oh, what is crypto? What is Bitcoin? Is it just internet money? It's not about Bitcoin. The underlying technology, blockchain, is extremely powerful technology. They've known for 5-10 years that the whole world's going to use it. They're standardizing it. They're working on it. All the top tech companies, commercial banks, central banks, they're all working on it. While the mainstream media keeps everyone deceived and talks about Bitcoin and how, oh, is it good? Is it bad? Blah, blah. It's not even about Bitcoin, technically. It's about the underlying technology. The same way the whole world moved onto the internet. 30 years ago, the whole world shifted and we had a paradigm shift, and the third industrial age, everything moved to the internet. The same way everything is moving to blockchain and to AI as well. He's also helped create LaChain, which is the Latin American Blockchain Association. LaChain they're creating a new dollar for Latin American countries and the US, and it's in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, which is like the IMF somewhat. I don't really like them very much, to be honest with you. I think their agenda of the IMF is not too good. But he created LaChain, or one of the founding members of LaChain, and Quant is providing the interoperability for this massive project, creating the LaChain dollar. So what Gilbert Verdian did is he literally created the standards for blockchain, and then they went on and created quant overledger that meets the standards. It's just insane. So I'm going to go back and explain to you a few things again about what quant overledger does. It sits on top of the blockchain, so any system that exists right now can connect into multiple blockchains at the same time, and they can pick and choose the best features of each chain, whatever they want. They can choose five different features, 10 different features, whatever, how many blockchains they want to use, and they can build an application using those different blockchains, the features of each blockchains which they like. So maybe they like XRP for settlement, and they like maybe Ethereum for the smart contract, and they like Hyperledger for something else. So they can pick the features of each blockchain and build a multi-chain application, and that's the only way that you can have full adoption of blockchain. So this is a little clip of Gilbert Verian when he did his presentation many years ago when they presented Quant and did the ICO, and I really encourage everybody to watch the full video. I'm not going to show you the full video right now, but I'm just going to show you a clip here of 3 or 4 minutes, a very important video, so that you understand what I'm saying here.
That other person. And that's what blockchain does. If you break down everything, forget all the crypto, forget all the technology, if you break down what blockchain does, it allows person A to trust person B because the protocol told him it's okay. And that's really fundamental because society can change. We can trust each other again without having to know each other. And that's what the real core essence of blockchain is. So with this technology, for the first time, we can actually honor the original vision of the internet to be a trusted network for machines and people to trust each other. So we can trust the network without the need to know and trust each other. Quite powerful. But we have a problem. Blockchains are flawed. We have a problem because blockchains are closed proprietary networks. And if you look at what's happening, Ethereum is being built in isolation. Hyperledger is being built in isolation. Ripple, they're all closed proprietary networks. So whatever you do, you're only on that one blockchain. It's very difficult to do something on Ethereum and be recognized on Ripple and vice versa. So there's a problem because users can't connect and interact with other people on other networks. You're restricted to that network and its technology. So if you're on Ethereum, you're restricted to the technology constructs and the limits of Ethereum. You can't do anything differently. And you can't really benefit from the technology of other blockchains. And finally, you're actually locked in to fees. If the price of mining goes up, you can't change it because you're stuck in the network. And this was the same problem that the internet had. If you're over 30 and if you're over 40, this was the internet. If you remember, you connected with your modem, with the sounds, to your provider. It was CompuServe, Prodigy, America Online. They served you their vision of the internet. This is how you did messages. This is how you did email. And the funny thing is, if you were on CompuServe and you wanted to send an email to someone outside, they charged you. It was like 5p. Did you remember that? You think about it, it's impossible to think about. So the internet used to be closed proprietary networks. Exactly the same problem as blockchain networks, closed proprietary. And then something happened. The internet opened up. All these networks connected. So openness and connectedness create innovation. And that's what happened. The internet flourished and magic happened. So the internet of today is a result of that connecting of closed networks. And that happened not that long ago. Early 2000s was really when it really took off, late 90s, 2000s. And that's what we seen, and that was the cause to create the Googles and the Amazons and the Facebooks and all the internet companies because of this thing, because they connected and it was open. So the question I ask is, why should you be limited to one blockchain? Why should you be stuck and limited to one single technology when there's different benefits and different blockchains that you can benefit from? So what we're saying is, why not benefit from all blockchains? And so what we've done with Overledger, it's an operating system that sits on top of existing first-generation blockchains, second-generation blockchains, and interoperability blockchains, and it allows you to connect seamlessly without giving you any extra overhead, without giving you any extra consensus or cost, because it's facilitating that data transfer between networks. We're connecting and bridging networks and allowing you to do something quite unique to create new multi-chain applications, not distributed applications, multi-chain applications. So if you think about it a bit more, but like what Microsoft did, if Microsoft in the 90s made Windows to be internet-based and put Windows OS on top of the internet to create internet apps, that's what we're doing today. So we've got our operating system on top of existing blockchains and future blockchains to create internet-based multi-chain apps where you can actually benefit from the different types of blockchain. So the challenge is with a dApp, it's dApp 1 sits on blockchain A and it does everything on blockchain A. dApp 2 sits on blockchain 2 and does everything on blockchain 2. So you can't allow these applications to transfer data and transfer value very easily. It's a problem, and that's what we're solving. So with multi-chain apps, you can actually split your app up, and you can say, I want my app to use a bit of Ripple for authentication, I want it to use a bit of Bitcoin for, let's just say, storage of data, and I want it to use Hyperledger because of scalability for resilience. You can actually have that choice with multi-chain applications. You have the flexibility. And as an enterprise, working at HSBC, my career, you have resilience. So if I want to have multiple data sets, multiple applications across different chains, I've got resilience, and we give you that choice. So the benefit is you can live on and run on multiple chains. You're never limited to a single technology. So if I have a problem with one blockchain just because of a security issue or a scalability issue, right now you're limited, you're stuck. But with having multi-chain applications, you can migrate. You're never limited to IBM. You're never limited to Ethereum. You can manage the cost, because if the fees go up, then running an application might have cost you £1 million a year, and if the fees go up, it's going to cost you 100 million, as an example, and you can't afford that. And finally, what we're doing is creating something called treaty contracts with Hamburg University. This is the multi-chain version of smart contracts. So you can execute a smart contract on one chain and move it on to another and recognize it vice versa. So again, a unique innovation. So how are we going to do this? Firstly, we're doing that interoperability, which I've mentioned, without an additional blockchain. We're creating an ecosystem so people can build apps. It's all open source. It's all out there, going to be on GitHub, as mentioned previously. Then we're looking to connect the internet directly to all the blockchains, because you can't do that today either. How can you send a TCP/IP connection from the internet to blockchain? It can't be done. So we want to bridge those two mega networks. And finally, what we're looking to do is to create blockchain IPs, which we're calling quant IP, to be able to do that internet connection, to create that internet of trust. And that's the next generation internet. And we will create applications like a browser or email or messaging, which are decentralized but hyper decentralized.
Okay, so that gives you a really good idea. I would really encourage you to watch Blockchain 24/7 seminar. If you just Google search Gilbert Verdian ICO seminar, you'll find a seminar where they did the initial coin offering. Let me just show the utility now for quant. So quant is facilitating all of these things, right? Like I said, you can't do really anything with blockchain without a solution like quant. And quant is the real interoperability solution. It is the real solution for the world to be able to adopt blockchain. There are other interoperability protocols that exist. Lynx talks about their interoperability, different, like they're not the real solution. Like any other interoperability solution that you're seeing out there is not the real solution. Okay, it's not allowing the whole world to adopt blockchain. They're wannabe interoperability. Okay, they're wannabes in regards to interoperability, blockchains, and so on. They're not doing what quant is doing. I don't care what they tell you. So what else would I say? So here, quant is a major utility token. Okay, so you can't do anything on quant overledger, their operating system, without using their token. When enterprises want to use quant overledger, they have to buy licenses. It converts into QNT. It locks up the QNT. Developers, same thing. They need to buy licenses. They can pay in euros or US dollar or whatever, but the quant treasury will actually convert those dollars into QNT and lock up the QNT. It creates a big demand on the QNT token. Same for a platform fee here. There's a platform fee to use a platform. You need the QNT in your wallet for identity and account verification. You need the central banks are going to be programmability of money is being done with quant. All the transaction processing, everything you do, whether it's data transactions, value, no matter what you're transacting through quant overledger, there's going to be processing fees for all the transactions, which can be paid in QNT. Applications, people who use the applications, you're going to have to pay fees, or QNT. So there's gateways and staking. And when you host a gateway, in order for data to move from one network to the other and all of these things, you need to host gateways. And you can only do that with QNT. So it's a universal utility token. The demand for QNT should be absolutely insane in the near future. Not financial advice, and not a financial advisor. Don't buy anything because of anything that I said, but I would highly encourage you to look into QNT. Okay, not financial advice, but it's currently 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin right now. If you look at the market cap, don't look at the price, you have to look at the market cap. It's technically 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin. In my opinion, it's, again, not financial advice. It could all go to zero, okay? Don't do anything because of what I said. Don't buy anything because of something I said. Do your own research. And yeah, it's 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin if you look at the market cap. And it's just complete insanity. It's, to me, it's like buying Bitcoin at $5. A long term, in 5-10 years, the potential, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, is it's absolutely insane. But again, could all go to zero, right? I have to say that. I have no choice to say that. But oof, crazy. Wow, okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about the patents real quick. So they've literally patented their technology almost across the world now. They've got numerous different patents. They've got other patents that are pending. They've got a Japanese patent here, and they've been applying for other countries for this patent as well. They have numerous patents in numerous countries, and nobody's going to ever replicate what they did. So one of their patents here, it's chronologically ordering blockchain transactions. This patent recognizes quant's method for establishing a universal time zone across blockchains to address inconsistent block times, enabling reliable consensus-based transactions ordering for multi-chain applications. It facilitates integration of blockchain projects into existing systems. Impact. It enhances Overledger's ability, Quant Overledger. It enhances Quant Overledger's ability to support enterprises and small businesses in producing consistent records across distributed ledger technology, so blockchain. Critical for use cases like CBDCs and interbank settlements. So it's crucial for central bank digital currencies and interbank settlements. Okay. US patent, blockchain communication and ordering. Title, blockchain communications and ordering. This patent covers a method for maintaining a record of the relative order of transactions across multiple blockchains. It introduces the overledger communication layer, decoupling DLT protocols from application logic, allowing seamless interactions with blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Corda via standardized APIs. Impact. It solidifies Quant's position as a pioneer in blockchain interoperability, enabling multi-chain applications and enterprise-grade solutions for financial institutions. So there's additional patents pending, on and so forth. So not only is there no other technology that does what they do, they've also pretty much patented in every different angle that it can be patented. So I don't think anybody's going to even come close to, and they've already have a 5 to 7 year first movers 5 to 7 year first movers advantage. Okay, so they already have a 5-year first movers advantage in the blockchain space. And even if they just had a 1 or 2 year first movers advantage, it would be huge. But the fact that they have a 5-year first movers advantage in blockchain technology at the speed that it's moving, I don't see anybody ever competing with them. In my opinion, they're going to take 80 to 95% of the market for blockchain adoption. Because like I said, it's the operating system. It's the Microsoft Windows of blockchain technology. It's Microsoft Windows on steroids. Okay, it's absolutely insane. My goodness, I think that's all for now. So it gives you a good idea of what quant is. I encourage you to research quant if you feel it's worth it. And thank you for watching my video. Please share this video with anyone and everyone. Please leave a comment below. What do you think? Did I go too quick? Did I not go quick enough? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think I'm just exaggerating? Let me know your thoughts, please, guys. And thank you so much for watching my video on my new channel. So God bless you all and have a great day. Thank you.